Welcome back to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Menti. Dozens of undocumented workers at ICE detention centers up and down New Jersey are on a hunger strike, protesting conditions at the facilities during the pandemic. Our Jennifer Marin has the story. Jennifer.
Larry, these hunger strikes have been happening for weeks. ICE detainees who participate are doing so with the hope that they'll be released to fight their immigration cases from home, where they say they feel safer amidst the COVID-19 pandemic.
I free them all. It's my dream. I want to see those families together one day.
Marcial Garcia is no stranger to ICE detention centers in New Jersey. Like hundreds of other immigrant detainees, he spent the past year in their custody and calls it a nightmare.
I am diabetic and I have major depression disorder and high blood pressure, and they don't have a medical system able to give the needs to those detainees that have a special need.
When the COVID-19 pandemic began back in March of 2020, these were the conditions he described at the Essex County Detention Center.
Nobody was wearing masks. They were hiding the truth from us, and no sanitizer, no soap for our hands, nothing. So it was pretty strange the way they were managed that, and no guidance, like no message how to prevent that. It was hard for us. We were trying to get information from the TV because there was no information from the facility for us.
We reached out to ICE for a response to these claims, and they provided this statement, which reads in part, ICE takes very seriously the health, safety, and welfare of those in its care. The agency is committed to ensuring that individuals in ICE custody reside in safe, secure, and humane environments. But Marcial insists that wasn't the case. And to keep his depression from worsening, he began to draw his experiences inside the detention centers.
This is a Bergen County jail cells. As you see, there are rats everywhere, cockroaches. The cells are small, 6 by 10. How small for 2 people to live in there.
How do you social distance when you're
There is no social distance.
In an effort to protest the poor safety conditions, Marcial and a few other detainees decided to start a hunger strike in the hopes that they'd be released to fight their cases safely from home.
When I did this decision, it was basically I decided to die. I decided whether get released or die.
When we reached out to ICE, they did confirm that hunger strikes are happening at detention centers throughout New Jersey. However, they only deem a detainee to be on hunger strike if they refuse 9 consecutive facility-provided meals. Marcial began to refuse meals on November 2nd and was placed in isolation. During that time, he says the other detainees were intimidated into quitting the strike, but he continued alone and was released 9 days later with an ankle bracelet.
This is my tracking device. I have to charge it every 8 hours.
He's hoping the same will happen for other detainees.
Instead of being inside, putting my life in danger, they can get devices like this and be with their families.
Currently, there are hundreds of immigrants detained in the Bergen, Hudson, and Essex detention centers. Most recently, Hudson County's Board of Chosen Freeholders voted to extend their contract with ICE for 10 years during a last-minute meeting with little to no explanation. This despite the board's pledge back in 2018 to exit the contract by 2020.
I think that was a slap in the face to the public.
Hudson County freeholder Bill O'Day, who voted against the extension, says the county is paid $120 per day per detainee, but that the county could easily make up that money in other ways.
A lot of the advocates are calling for...
I asked him if, like Marcial, other ICE detainees could be released with an ankle bracelet to avoid COVID-19 spread, but he says that decision is up to ICE and not the county.
We should be pressuring President Biden to immediately implement a program to authorize and direct ICE to be able to do that for the duration of the pandemic, and hopefully Hudson County can be one of the first places.
What do we want? Free them all!
In the meantime, activists who have rallied for months continue to show their support.
Being out here is critical. One, to support the hunger strikers, let them know that there's community that cares.
Now, according to activist groups, as a retaliatory method, ICE detainees that participate in hunger strikes are now being transferred to other detention facilities, sometimes outside of New Jersey, far away from family and other support systems. However, ICE officials have denied any retaliation. Reporting in Kearney for Jersey Matters, I'm Jennifer Marin.